All right, good. Oh my goodness, why is my voice like that? Got some stuff on my throat. All right, what's up, guys? It's day 5. It's Oxen on here. January 28th, 7:04 p.m. As I am recording this, this is probably the earliest I've done these. Because I usually record these like after 7 p.m. and whatnot. So yeah, we are. They were drawing Superman. I'm enjoying Superman. We'll get to that in a bit, but I just want to tell you guys about something. So I've gone around to watching this movie starring James Stewart. It's called It's a Wonderful Life. Honestly, I would say it's probably one of the greatest movies of all time, if not the greatest movie of all time. Personally, I've gone around to watching it, and it took me a while to get there because the first time I'm watching it, I wasn't getting to it. I wasn't really getting to it because it was kind of boring me out. But I decided to watch it today. It's been a while since I watched movies, and after some time of spend so much time doom scrolling, move on to the next reel, before you know it, your brain is just, it becomes desensitized to that. Once you watch something that's actually real and full of soul, you start to react very differently. This movie in particular made me cry. It made me cry. It's been so long since I had a movie where I cried to it. Like the whole ending sequence made me cry. In a way, it's sort of like a retelling of I'm not sure if it is a retelling, but it's more of, I guess it is kind of like a retelling of A Christmas Story. Is it called, like the one with Ebenezer Scrooge in it? But this one in particular, it's just like the protagonist, George. He has like a variety of problems just stacked onto him. He's about to get arrested, about to get in prison, and starts to go insane, starts to go crazy, and starts to get really depressed, and starts to get really grumpy, starts to go crazy, and it's insane. And his children suffer for it, his wife suffers for it. And I don't really want to spoil it, but it's just that, he believes that his life isn't worth anything, that it doesn't make a difference. And it starts to go through that notion of where, wow, I help so much people, I help all these people, but it looks like I'm never really getting anything for it. And this angel arrives, and he comes to help him. The angel's name's Clarence. He gets sent from God to help George. George inadvertently is starting to contemplate about suicide. He's over this bridge, and right as he's about to do the act, he sees this person jumps into the water, and then he yells out, "Save me, save me." And George, without a moment's hesitation, decides to save him. He jumps right into the water and saves the guy, which turns out to be his guardian angel. And this angel then has to convince him that his life is worth something. And I don't know, I believe in those this whole sequence is, well, that's why I say it's sort of like a Christmas story, because this Christmas ghost figure like Clarence here, it shows him a future, a time of where George Bailey isn't born. And he realizes that, oh my goodness, things are so different without him around. He's helped so much people, that these little things, like George saving his brother, like George defending his father's business to Harry Potter, which is the antagonist. He's like this capitalistic figure where he's like really greedy, and he just sees these people as cattle instead of actual human beings. And he stands up to him. In the future where he didn't exist, there where he wasn't born, well, the town where he's living at, I grew up in, ends up getting like bought by Potter. What was, I forgot the name, but it ended up being named Pottersville. And it just became this haven for like capitalistic businesses, which I assume are just all owned by him. Nightclubs, bars, cinemas, I guess. It's just full of these capitalistic ventures and businesses, which I assume are all owned by him. So it's insane, right? And then everybody's mean, everybody's grumpy, everybody's in total chaos, everybody's so disconnected from each other when George Bailey wasn't born, right? And then it requests the angel to see his wife and kids, and he finds that Mary is, well, she grows up old, and she grows up to be unmarried, and she works at a library, and it's sort of unhappy. It's sure weird that if George Bailey wasn't born, all these people's lives would have been very, very different, and for the worst, And it comes to me, and I cried because the end sequence where his brother Harry comes back home for Christmas, right? Actually before that, right? To give some context, if you guys watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about, right? But it's just like, if this, I believe it was his uncle. His uncle misplaced $8,000, and he needs that $8,000 to, I guess, for the business. If he doesn't have the $8,000, then the business will get shut down, and somebody will get to prison, and it'll all be over, and whatnot. It wouldn't be able to help these people anymore, right? And then that's why he's so angry. But that's why he lashes out at his family, because, well, he starts to realize this might just be it. This is the end. All these frustrations of, man, it could have been great. I could have went to explore the world and build things, and be known for building things. He threw out all the his dreams just so he could, run his family's business, and he realizes, wow, I could have just went that way. They could have been more happier and whatnot, but yeah, I help all these people have nothing to show up for it, you know what I mean? But then realizes, he comes back, he requests the angel to I want to live again. He asks God to live again, because he realizes his life is, if he wasn't born, then things would have been radically different. And all these people he's affected, like, it would have been, I guess, miserable if I wasn't born. His mother, his father, etc., etc. You know, so that's the thing. And you know, he asked God to live again, and then he comes back, and he comes back home. He comes rushing home, and doesn't care that he's about to get arrested because, well, at least his family is there. At least everything's back to normal, right? And he just wants to live again. He's happy that his family's still alive and whatnot. So after that, one by one, all these people come into his house. And these people turns out to be Mary. Mary actually went out of her own way to call each of these people one by one to help her out, to help George out with the business. And next thing you know, they're giving all these people come in one by one. The people that George helped, actually, right? And these people come by and they drop some money, more than he's ever expected, more than $8,000. I believe it was a letter by Sam Wainwright, which was supposed to be Mary's husband, and he's gonna give $25,000, which is insane. It's completely more than it is completely more than 8,000. And I started to cry, right? Because these people, you know, well, not really the people. I think it's more of I cried because George Bailey started to realize his life meant something. It actually meant something. And that he knows that he's loved. That he knows that kindness, that friends, that all these small things that we take for granted. That's life. That's what makes up life. Right? Think about it, you could always have the biggest house. But then what's the point of it if it's just you and your maid? Like, what? You know, it's like you could have the fastest car, but you're always gonna sit out in traffic, right? Like, you have a bunch of money, but what's the point if everybody else around you is just trying to find a way to get to their next meal? You know? But it all comes down to really is hope. I think we need more of it in our lives, especially during these times where it seems like the evil just keep on winning and that they always keep getting what they want and they just keep getting away with it, and we're all left to suffer for it. And obviously it sucks, but you know, it's just that we have to keep moving forward and that we have to keep hoping. Hope is a good thing. And without further ado, I'd like to say that Superman is the embodiment of hope. And you could say Spider-Man could be more relatable, and that's arguably true, but Superman, I would say, is hope. Can you imagine an alien baby? Right? He could have died. He could have died on Krypton, along with his family. But no. It was sent down to Earth. And I know this is fictional, but I don't care. It's a fictional story, it's all made up, but I don't care. An alien baby sent down on Earth, and it somehow finds these two people. These two good people. and they raised him up to be a beacon of hope and kindness and humanity. He represents humanity in a way. Superman, with all his power and might, with his abilities, he can fly. He has the strength to carry almost anything. He chooses not to rule over us. So that's the easiest thing you can have. It's the easiest thing to do, to have people. When you have that much power, it's so easy to just be like, well, I'm better than you, I'm stronger than you, I could literally fly, I could literally do anything. You guys have literally nothing against me, right? You have nothing to fight against me. I'm so much better, I'm so much stronger. But he chooses to save a cat from a tree. He chooses to save people from a burning building, right? He chooses to like a moonlight as a reporter at the Daily Bugle. You know what I mean? Like, he chooses to have a date with Lois Lane. He chooses to be at dinner with his parents. He chooses to be a good father. Etc. You know, it's like that's humanity at its core. It's just these small things that we take for granted. It's valid to be ambitious. It's fine to be ambitious, and it's fine to have dreams. And it's even more better that you dream that things will get better, a better tomorrow. You know what I mean? That's what Superman symbolizes. Obviously Spider-Man is more relatable because, well, he actually goes through that struggles. Actually goes through those struggles. And that's the thing. You know, we have to keep moving. We have to keep fighting for a better tomorrow. And that Superman is essentially the light. He's that future that we're all striving towards. We must be more connected toward one another. We can't keep isolating ourselves from one another. You know, we need each other. We really do. And it's really hard to, look at the news and you see people fighting meaningless wars, and we can all just break bread and just try to talk to one another and realize we have more in common than we thought. We have more in common than differences. You know what I mean? It's also stupid. We can get so greedy, we can get so evil that we don't realize that these are people with their own lives, their own individual lives, their own families. Think for a second, we were all once babies. You know what I mean? It's just think about that. We were all once babies. We were all birthed from a woman. We were all once crying by the time we got out of the womb. It's I'm just saying, it's insane. Why can't we all just be kind to one another? It's stupid. But yeah, this is the first time I've cried to a movie in a while. Actually, it's been a while since I watched a movie, and I'm glad I watched this one because I've obviously it's a tale as old as time. Really, it's a person wants to achieve ambitious things. He wants to achieve these great things, and it's fine to have those things. It's valid for you to pursue those, as long as you're not stepping on other people's backs, then go ahead. But it's just that you just keep pursuing it, as long as you just don't do anything bad or evil or betray a person. It's so easy to do that. That's the thing. You take all these little things for granted. Like, life in general is a gift. It's so, sometimes you have to take a breath and like just be grateful that we're alive. We make things so complicated and so complex for no reason. It's just like these little things, like you take them so for granted. It's yeah. I mean, there's plenty of movies about that. It's just a tale as old as time, as I was saying. As a person wants to achieve great things, but you have these people who are higher up, who are trying to ruin that, and you end up not achieving anything at all. But what we don't realize is that the greatest thing that you can achieve is to make a person feel that they're not alone, that they're loved, that they can rely on you. And the greatest thing you can achieve is like just to make a person want to live again. It's like that they're valid, that they're worth it. It's like that's the greatest thing you can do. The greatest thing you can do is make a person laugh, make a person smile, to make their day. What I mean? It's like that's the greatest thing you can do. And like you can't just you could be the greatest thing at doing something right. You could be the greatest, I don't know, like in Whiplash, for example. You could be the greatest drummer in the world. But in the end, it's like it's so more to think about it. Yeah, it's like these contrasting philosophies. That's the thing about ambition in general. It's like you have to sacrifice your own humanity to achieve something bigger than you. That's kind of like, that's insane, But, some people believe that's worth it. They choose to take that price, and in the end, they got it, but is it worth it? It's like, maybe not. The only way you can know that is to do it, my Superman drawing right here it's arguably bad. What I realized is that my style of drawing right now is very childlike. I don't really apply any shading. These are literally drawings that a kid can make. Honestly, it's actually insane. My God, I could honestly do better, but it is what it is. And another thing is like, man, this like I just keep on drawing for more than 15 minutes, And honestly, it's like I just want the drawing to feel complete. I'm not ever really gonna feel accomplished a drawing that's like uncolored or half drawn. If I feel like it's not gonna be good, well, most of the time, right now, my drawings aren't that good, but if I feel they're not that good, well, it's never really I'm just gonna keep on trying to, try to improve it as best I can, is what I know, with the abilities I got. You know what I mean? I just try to keep on pushing. There's this quote where you can throw a bucket of water onto a rock, right? but it won't do anything. The rock will still be there. But if you drop, you have a drop of water drop onto a rock every single day. Eventually, I mean, it will take years. Eventually, there will be a hole in that rock. You know what I mean? It's like consistency, showing up day in and day out. Eventually, it's gonna do something. You know, you could honestly, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, yeah, sure, you could create a masterpiece of a drawing. But the thing is, when you put it out there, who's gonna see it? You know, it's like, if you don't, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, but it's just, you know, it's like, you have to show up from the beginning. You have to show work to people. That's what I was saying in the previous video, that, you know, art is meant to be seen with an audience. If it doesn't have an audience, well, it's just you, and you are the only one who's supposed to interpret it. But that's kind of boring, to me at least. So it has to have an audience in order for the art to be more interesting. It has to be seen with different eyes, with different minds and whatnot. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, really. This is probably the longest one I've done, this longest video I've done. I'm literally half asleep while recording this and doing this drawing. Oh my goodness, it's just, I've been so sleep deprived. I'm worried that I'm losing brain cells, but hopefully not, you know what I mean? So it's day 5. I mean, we still have a long ways to go. Honestly, I have no idea if they're like real people yet that are actually watching my videos. I don't know if those view counts are just me or there's like other people watching this, you know what I mean? It's like, it's hard to tell. But if anybody real has watched this and has made it to the end of this video somehow, with all my annoying yaps, please comment and give it a like and share and subscribe. I don't care. Anyways, you can do whatever you want in real life. I'm not here to bother. It's Oxynaut. Keep hoping. Keep hope maxing. Choose to be better. Choose to be kind. And just, you know, be grateful. Try to be more grateful. Try to be more thankful for little things. And I'm thankful that you're here, that you're alive. You know what I mean? If nobody said that to you yet, well, I am, and I'm grateful that you're here, that you exist. And I love each and every one of you. Hopefully you all accomplish what you want to accomplish, and keep on loving, and keep on living. So that's about it. Oxynaut out. See you tomorrow.